did is asking everyone she interviews, how did you fall in love with hip hop? And then we get these real life rappers, producers, people who belong to the hip hop community. Where were the women?
Kamora was there, right? Oh, she was with Russell, so that doesn't count.
I'm talking about during the interviews when they were
Oh,
answering the question, when did you fall in love with hip hop? Where was Salt and Pepper? Where was Roxanne?
it's a good observation.
Where was MC Light? Queen
We're gonna
Latifah
ask.
couldn't do it because she was in the movie.
We're gonna ask the director.
Why do we hang on to brown sugar? What do we need brown sugar for? Like, I feel like there's some, I hang on to Martin because Martin just reminds me of just an easier time when I was younger. Like, my stress was, man, I have so much homework, man. I got a project to do in social studies. It's just fun. And you're not really risking much with Martin. Like there were some episodes that were about social issues, but not too much. Like these are not heavy episodes. And it's also just funny, like his bodily humor is funny. Why do we like brown sugar?
It's a love story. We all love a love story.
It's a love story, but so is Love Jones. So
Yeah,
is
we hang on to that one too.
I guess what I'm saying, I think brown sugar made me feel grown up when I was about to be
Yes.
like the brown sugar was like a different world. I
Yep.
wasn't in college when A Different World came out,
No.
but I was like, ooh, I want that. So I think I was maybe like early 20s when Brown Sugar came out, or was I like
Girl, 2002.
17? How old was I?
2002.
How
High
old was I?
school.
I was in high school. Yeah, of course. I was like a
2002.
junior in high school when it came out. So I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, this is what
This
life
is
in
like
New
this is what
York is
life is
like.
like.
Oh
I'm gonna
my gosh. Yes, this is what I want. And it's also it was about having a job and something you were interested in. Like,
this is very all those 90s and like early 2000 films when it comes to like career, the career woman has like this high power job. And I guess it speaks in times to like the economy during that time. Because if you take a movie, because these characters were in their late 20s, were they even 30? I think they
they
mentioned.
were about to be 30. I'm like,
Yeah,
y'all have these types of jobs at 30. The way we thought
exactly.
about 30 is just ridiculous.
No, but yeah, but then it's like now, like, ain't no 30-year-old got that is not going, that is not happening. We not executives or working at Double XL
No,
magazine.
no.
So
After
it's
you've had like a stint at the LA Times with that banging ass office, like, do you know how
exactly.
difficult it is to, okay, girl.
So that's definitely 90s, that era where people was getting jobs out of good jobs out
Great
right out of
jobs.
college.
No advanced degree.
No, none. Probably didn't even graduate. Probably got the job their last semester.
Okay. But she did say she went to Columbia. So I'm
Yeah,
sure that opens some doors for you.
definitely. So this movie is interesting because it kind of they discuss the history of hip hop and Sydney and Dre's relationship, being childhood friends, and how this movie talks about hip hop from the 80s to the early 2000s. And they just talk about how it was hip hop was very personal. It was local. It was easily accessible. You can go to the park and see rappers, or walk down the street and see a rapper. It wasn't as flashy. And then it moves on to when hip hop kind of became corporate and business
Mhm.
and big business and big budgets. And that's kind of like how they viewed their relationship, as first just childhood local friends who just loved. It was like hip hop had I guess a freedom in a way. You just loved doing it, and it was just fun, and it was expression. And then as you get older, it's like, okay, now we're a business, we're a corporation.
I feel like the film got a little heavy-handed with using hip hop as a metaphor for their love
Relationship.
story.
Yeah.
It just got a little like, we get it. Yes, y'all are talking about hip hop, but y'all are also talking about yourself. Like, we get it. We get that. I guess I just wanted it to be hip hop to be in the backdrop
The undertone, yeah.
in a more organic way. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, gosh, this is like
It's
it's
so
cute,
obvious.
but it's so freaking corny. Like with Dre, he has his corporate hip hop job, and he
Yeah.
has his corporate wife in Reese, and he has the corporate group that he has to sign, which is Ren 10, the hip hop Dalmatians.
Yeah.
And on the other side, he has the authentic hip hop in the act that he wants to sign, Cav. And he also has his love interest in Sid. And he also has his new record label that he wants to start.
So Dre had this issue of real hip hop versus, I guess, a gimmick, or what he felt that the hip hop Dalmatians were kind of a gimmick just to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like this concern is still relevant in today's era? Like, has how we view music changed? Is Has the music industry changed, or is this still going on? This issue between real hip hop and kind of like commercial hip hop.
I'm sure it is. It's just not a conversation that I'm invested in. I'm just not invested in it. I think that now the access to music is easier for people. So if you really are into music, there are way too many like streaming platforms where you can access, like before it's like if they're not selling your music in the store or playing you on the radio, how do I even know you exist? How do
Right.
I even find you? How do I support you? Now I feel like it's a little bit easier even with things like um Spotify, SoundCloud, or even just like people just playing their music on their personal Instagram, like social media pages. So I feel like it's a little bit easier. And I say that even though I know that that's still very difficult and it helps having commercial funding when it comes to your music. I'll say that I'm not a fan of like who's I like Kendrick Lamar.
You saying who's new in hip hop right now?
Yeah, like who would you say is commercial right now?
The first thing I can think of is Cardi B.
Hmm.
Um, that's first that comes to mind.
And see, I fil like all them
Meg Thee
girls is
Stallion is kind of
commercial.
commercial.
I feel like City Girls is commercial. I feel like um the who that
City
Sweetie.
Girls is kind of because, well, I guess everyone kind of hears about people before they blow up.
Hmm.
I still kind of feel like City Girls are still kind of like the underdog,
Yeah, I mean,
but I
I'm
don't think City Girls. The difference between Cardi B and I think maybe it's like her personality is that she will be on the Jimmy Fallon's, Jimmy Kimmel, Ellen. City Girls, I ain't seen City Girls on Ellen or Jimmy
that's very
or Jimmy
true.
Fallon.
That is very true. I don't know, I just don't. I ain't watching Cardi B when she on any of them shows. Like I don't
No, I
like,
no, I really I like her person. I like her personality more than her music. I think she's
Mm.
a fun personality, and I really think she would be good in like the TV space because like
Yeah,
she's
I
funny.
mean, there's so much.
She has like
It's
a smart kind of rawness to her. I think
yeah,
she's more of a to me she's more of a,
a
a
person that
personality.
yeah, I can see that, and I like her personality too. It's for me, it's complicated. I feel like there's just certain things that she gets away with because she's pretty and she has light skin. I feel like if we
I
saw
agree.
someone,
Like I said, City Girls has never been on Ellen.
and even I mean, and even I think some people would consider Carisha light skin, like to be a light skinned woman, or even a Meg the
Until I see
Stallion.
Carisha on Jimmy Fallon. Meg Thee Stallion's been on Jimmy, but she's really good at her craft. Until I see City Girls, Carisha, or JT, or both on Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Ellen speaking, not just performing,
Yeah.
but sitting on the couch having a conversation, then I'll say they're a commercial. And I get it with the skin tone conversation. That's definitely, I mean, you can't ignore that.
Did you think that Reese's skin tone had anything to do with why um
Dre fell in love with her.
Dre I don't do you think that they were in love or
No,
Dre wanted to marry her?
I'm trying to figure out why he got married in the first place.
I'm wondering if that was just pressure, like pressure of
Ooh.
being. I think that some men feel a pressure to be in a relationship at a certain age. It's like I have this dream job. I want to feel grown. I this feels right. Like
Well, they got okay. So he proposed to her at the party in the first scene, right?
mhm,
And so they weren't together that long. It
no,
wasn't at the so I don't think it was a pressure. I think for men it was more like this is the next step. I have
yeah,
my job. I have this beautiful girl. I'm gonna make her my wife because
yeah.
that's
And
what
me
I
and you,
do.
I feel yes, and maybe like this is more of a semantics issue. Like you call that next step, I call that pressure. Like that's
Well, I
the
don't think I think with men it's different because I feel like it's a little bit of a I don't know if control is the right word, but I feel like sometimes in these dynamics, especially when you talk about marriage, it's it's a lot about I mean, if you go into the history of marriage, it's really about ownership
mhm,
of women and kids and women being property and being the father, giving their daughter to another man's and his family. So I think with men, it's kind of more like an ego thing. Like this is what I have.
mhm,
I have a car, I have a house, I have a wife at home. Like these are my things.
mhm.
So I that may be a wrong way to look at it, but that's kind of like how I feel men view relationships. And I think women have it differently. I think women feel more pressure to kind of like be be chosen. Like we hear all the
Yeah,
time. Women want to be
absolutely, yeah. And I mean, I'm right there with
and
you
men can
with
just pick and choose whoever.
yeah. I'm with you as it relates to like where Dre is in his life. Um, absolutely. And you know what? When I was younger, I just thought everybody was rich. I was like, Dre has a lot of money, like he's good. But Dre, when he leaves Millennium Records, it's like some money concerns
Oh yeah.
there. And
Well, he quit his job. He quit
Yeah,
his
he
fancy
quit his
job.
job, but I was like, he's got money saved up. He's good. He's made some investments. He's gonna be all right, you know. I also think that it didn't hurt that Reese was a lawyer
True. Yeah, his pretty smart wife.
and rich.
Hmm.
And that didn't hurt.
Yeah, to me, their union just seemed very
This makes sense. It's convenient.
yes,
It's the puzzle pieces
the
fit.
puzzle
So
pieces match.
therefore, like we should get, because I'm like, why did he propose and why did she say yes? And why didn't we have a long engagement? I feel like both of them were at a place where they felt like, yeah, of course, I'm not gonna get any better than Dre. I'm not gonna get any
Yeah,
better than that. Like,
right.
let me marry this man. Of course, I'm gonna marry this man. Did you always know that Sid was in love with Dre? Like, when did you know?
I'll say at that bridal shower when she knew all them, she was giving them answers like, yes, his favorite drink, his middle name. Yes, when he orders this is what he's doing.
I
His
was like,
favorite
make it less
song.
obvious that you like this man. Like,
Exactly. It's
make it
like
less obvious. Like, the way she's
everything
answering the
down to the
questions is
T.
like she's remembering her honeymoon. I'm
It's like
like,
a reminiscing. It's like, yes, if he wants to
yes.
impress you, he's gonna order this, but on a regular day, he likes to order this. His favorite song, when he's having a good day, he likes to put on the music, and this is how he winds down. Like, okay, girl,
Yeah.
okay,
I
boo.
knew when she is in Los Angeles and she's packing up her office and she's working on some pages of her book, and her assistant is like, hey, can you come out? This is your party. Oh, well, no, I have to get these pages to my editor. Oh, well, Dre's on the call. And then she just has this bright smile and is like, oh, send him through. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
so it's like, oh, you like him. Like, this is more than just, this is my friend. This is, this is I'm happy to hear from them because they are
Mhm.
my friend. There's nothing romantic going on. I'm like, no, you in love with this man. And her cousin, what's Queen Latifah's character's name?
I don't even remember.
It feels like she's been the voice of reason for the entire film because she knows that Sid is in love with Dre.
So okay, so Dre proposes to Reese at the party, and then they have, they get married rather quickly. And the night before the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
Sydney and Dre, you know, they kiss.
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
And then act like nothing happened the next day. At that moment, I'm like, okay, like, I need to call this off. Why didn't neither one of them? Well, it would have been up to Dre to call off the wedding. Why do you think he went through with it? What he is like embarrassing?
I think that much of Dre's life has just been walking in a path that's preset.
Oh yeah.
So I don't believe in what we're doing at Millennium Records, but I'm just gonna go along and get along and get my check. I don't, I know that marrying this woman after I have had this romantic encounter with someone who I may have strong feelings for, I know that that's not the right thing to do, but the wedding is already planned. It's going to be really embarrassing. It's going to take a lot of work to get out of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You know, what I didn't appreciate is that Dre never tells Reese about the kiss, even
Mm.
when they're having their discussions about divorce. when they're at the pool table. And she says, we never tried to make it work. He says, he says something to the effect of like, we're not meant to be, like, this isn't right. You never said anything about the kiss. And so I feel like I always felt really bad for Reese in this movie. Because I feel like there's a lot of gaslighting happening with her. Because she's right this entire time. Sid, you are in love with my husband.
Well, yes, that is okay. I agree, because backing up, when Dre quit his job and
I would have been pissed. I already know what you're about to ask.
And he already asked Sid to loan him some money to start, his what he wants to do. And so when he talks to Reese about it, and at first I get her being upset. It's like, damn, you quit your job, like, we just got married, we got this house, I'm expecting 2 incomes. We ain't talk about 1 income.
Yeah. Which is unfair. Yeah. And you sitting up there telling me, I need you to be my cheerleader. I need you to be my cheerleader. I need for you to treat me like I am your partner in this household. Exactly. You are putting a lot of financial pressure on me, sir. And that's not fair.
And then on top of that, when she's like, okay, like, how much, do you need to start your label? And he was like, oh, Sid already helped me out. Like, what? So Sid knew all about this before I did?
There's no concern for her feelings and the messiness that is you and Sid. And that's what pisses me off. That's why I'm like, I feel bad for her. I really feel bad for her.
I just thought about this now. A guy that was willing to have a woman best friend, but this was more than a woman best friend.
Yeah, they were in love with each other the entire time.
Because it's like, how do you handle that?
You can handle it if there's not this sexual tension between them and this romantic longing that is just so present in the air. It's making the air thick. Like, you can handle it then, but you can't handle it.
The right thing, but inviting her to the bridal shower, like,
I invited you to the bridal shower, but I know that you are in love with this man. Like, after the bridal shower, I especially know. And I probably knew that something happened between y'all before the wedding. I probably already knew that, So, and then when Reese and Sid are at the same gym and they're boxing with each other and they're kind of like taking their aggression out on each other. When Reese says, I don't have a problem that you're really good friends with Dre. Yeah. I have a problem that you're in love with Dre. And I also think that there should have been some space for Reese to say, I also have a problem that he's in love with you. But you're not necessarily going to say that. And then there's like this again, the gaslighting. The gaslighting. But I understand that you're not going to tell this woman that you're in love with her husband. But let's stop acting like, come on now. Don't tell me, okay, we're big girls, let's talk it out, when you about to just shoot me some motherfucking lies. But you have no difficulty telling Dre what the fuck I'm doing. Men flirting with me at the gym. But you sitting up here, y'all been in love with each other, y'all kissing, y'all doing all of that. My feelings wasn't hurt when I saw her at the table with Richard Lawson. My feelings wasn't hurt. You been cheating on me.
So now Sydney gets in her own relationship with a basketball player. What's his name? Kirby? They gave him a weird name. Kelby. Played by Boris Kojo. Mm-hmm. And he's not even interested in what she does.
At all.
Because she's telling him, "Oh, did you read my article?" He's like, I read the one you wrote about me." And she was like, "Any other thing you read?" He, yeah.
But also, was she interested in anything he had going on? Like you came to his practice, but you weren't interested in his practice. You came there because you were feeling anxious about the book. Every time we see y'all, even in y'all little cute little montages, he's cooking you dinner, you working. The reason y'all met is because this was a work setup,
I feel
if
like
it wasn't about work, it was about Dre.
Yeah.
So he really got the short end of the stick.
I feel like Dre's relationship and Sydney's relationship are kind of like similar in the fact that they don't really like these people.
They don't.
They're just with them because. And then later on, he proposes to Sydney and she says yes. I'm like, y'all just be saying yes to anybody.
A child. And when he proposed to Sid, Reese was over there like, please say yes, please, Jesus. Yes, this, please. Please. I wanted to see something come of Cav and Sydney's cousin.
Francine, that's her name.
I wanted to see something come of that.
He seemed like he was really into her, but she wasn't really sure if she liked him or not.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see more of it. I just felt like it was just played to the side so much that I felt like y'all are flirting with me with this. Like, am I supposed to care about this or am I not? What's going on,
Well, Sydney and Dre eventually get a divorce. And
you said Sydney and Dre. Reese and Dre.
Reese and Dre eventually get a divorce. Sydney and Kelby never get married.
Never.
And Sydney and Dre realize they're in love with each other. Wait, when did they have sex with each other?
They had sex with each other after Richard Lawson scene. So they catch Reese and then they go back to Sid's beautiful brownstone. And
yeah, they was never friends. I wonder if this can't be the first time they ever.
Well, she tells her cousin that
one time in
college, Dre like propositioned her with like, do you want to be more than just friends? And she turned him down. Like, did that happen after a romantic encounter? Did that happen after a kiss? Did that happen after sex? Did that happen after just some type of physical intimacy? I don't know. But he did ask and she turned him down. And you know what's so interesting? It's like, this is why movies like this will get you in trouble, because everything is wrapped up. Her book is done.
Yeah.
He's got his record label going, the album,
got the single
they've got a single on the, it just seemed like everything gets wrapped up. Sometimes, I think I will say that's what I liked about Love Jones. And we don't know how they gonna make this work. We don't know. All we know is that they love each other.
I live in New York. I don't care.
I don't care, girl. I don't care. But this is like,
well, did she break? Okay, she did break it off with Kelby, right, Sydney?
Well, he kind of broke it off with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dre and Reese have to get a divorce, so
they have to get a divorce.
Hopefully that goes through.
They are celebrating my divorce.
Well, hopefully that goes through, because otherwise, if that don't go through, then ain't no Sydney and Dre.
Yeah, there will be.
It's gonna be
They don't care about marriage. They don't care about vows. You seen that?
So do you think this movie aged well? This is 2002. It's damn near 20 years.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It ages well. To me, it's not. It's a feel good film. It is a
Do
feel
you
good
think
film.
people younger than us who didn't see it in 2002 would like it?
I think so. It's not a film where, like, I feel like film scholars alike, but also Black people, you have this thing where it's like, you gotta see School Days. You gotta see it. You gotta see Malcolm X.
But do you know how sometimes I've seen this where like some of the Black movies we kind of cherish, and when you revisit them or when someone sees them for the first time, not really that great.
Yeah. No, I'm saying Brown
AKA
Sugar is
higher
not
learning.
one that is that. Like Brown Sugar, I'm not taking away your Black heart if you have not seen Brown Sugar.
No, but do you think if you didn't see it in the past, you think it's people would be like,
I don't know. I wonder. I think I'm not the person to ask because I am the age that I am.
yeah, because we already saw
I
it.
think,
Is it nostalgia or is it really a good movie?
and I mean, for me, it's not even nostalgia because again, I'm too young to really be a fan of Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I heard him on the radio, but it was when they were playing throwbacks. Like, I'm not growing up in that era. So I think that for people who really love music, sure, but it's not, you know.
This demographic is for people born in the 70s.
Yes. And I would say like it's not even for music hip hop heads. It's not even about that. Like it's not it's that's why I was saying they were heavy-handed with it. Y'all had a whole bunch of cameos by some rappers. And then we were having like this very reductive conversation about hip hop going mainstream and hip hop getting back to its roots, hip hop, being innovative, hip hop remaining the same, hip hop not changing. It just, I felt like that conversation.
So in that way, do you think it's kind of like dated? Because if someone young were to see this movie, they'd be like, okay, who are all these people?
It's not something I feel like, it's not that it's dated, it's that the questions that they're asking about hip hop are not that complex.
Oh.
For people to even take seriously. Real people who are interested in music, like that's like not like that's question 1 of 50 billion. It's like that's not, we're not having a nuanced conversation about hip hop, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions.